these are themes and development themes that he has researched on. And these books that he has developed in literature will continue to guide us in our search for peace in this vision. And thank you, Father, and thank you for present here. My sharing of what is happening and what efforts we are making in Manipur in the most difficult and trying time of our history in Manipur, quite is coherent to what our President has said in his last part of the speech, that we have to have a new look to the situation. And also, it is quite coherent to what GVG has left here behind, who says the future of the children from women's perspective. These are two things, more particularly equality and justice. This conflict should not happen there. But what went wrong? So let me give you a new look into this situation. And I have found that, being a student of conflict transformation, the systems analysis is a new approach or new look at this situation, which helped me not blame anybody but the system. So what is wrong with the system? The system is terribly wrong for the reason that you have a state called Manipur, which is a native feudal, which began as a native feudal state, independent for thousands of years. Then it becomes a Hindu state, sometime in 17th, 18th century. But before that, it was an indigenous, religious, cultural, independent, native kingdom. So king decided we have to do that structure till by being the indigenous, cultural, religious society and the state. After that, we converted a Hindu state. So a lot of things there, but this is how the state was evolving from, and it has also taken different names. The Burmese know us as Kathe, or the Assamese king know us as Megle, and we call ourselves Meitei society. And then after that, it came to be known as Manipur or Manipuri identity, in which all what we call as Naga, Kuki, Muslim population or Mayan population would have come under this huge umbrella, like the Naga umbrella. Naga umbrella is a common denominator of all the Naga tribes. Likewise, Manipur is an identity which would have included everyone. But it did not happen. What went wrong? It terribly went wrong. But before that, before I give you the problem, let us try to understand this system called Manipur that existed independently, autonomously in this region as a feudal state. It's a Manipur. Let us look at the new look. The new look is that let us look at Manipur from ecological perspective. Then you will see that Manipur is a hill valley, hill. This is how the integrity of hill state needs to be maintained at all costs. State needs to be maintained at all costs through negotiation, reconciliation, mediation, and all kind of peace formulation you might like, mutually agreeable. So this is something that I found that this is one new look. If you look at it from that ecological perspective, this is also a cultural center. Let us look at it from the cultural point of view now. Manipur, I found, is very interesting place in which the Eastern, that is Indo-Aryan cultural civilization, which is exhibited in the cultural civilization of the Bengal, the Great Bengal, where the Mongoloids, the Australoids, The Aryans came together, mixed them together, and then you have a huge cultural civilization which has given you as a gift the Gitanjali, the nationalism. The whole Indian nationalism is much more grown from this cultural civilization. A very rich cultural civilization, which has also connected the Chinese. If you leave the whole external affairs, particularly the relationship with the Chinese, India, China, to Bengali intellectuals, India would have very peaceful relationship with China. That I'm sure. You can trace this relation, historical relation with the Chinese. We never had war, remember? Never a war until you come to 1962. Okay? So never a war with the Chinese. Beautiful relationship of cultural exchange, intellectual exchange, and the spiritual exchange. The Chinese civilization and Indian civilization, particularly centered around the Nalanda in Bihar and the Vishwabharati, or for that matter, the Bengal cultural civilization. A beautiful cultural civilization, the relationship. So now, Manipur, Manipur is a bridge between the Indo-Aryan cultural civilization exhibited or centered around Bengal on the western side. Manipur is a bridge with the Southeast Asian Chinese cultural civilization on the east. It is these two cultural civilizations that has come together in the valley through migration. That is why Father was mentioning at the end of his speech that we Meitei are younger brothers of our elder brothers in the hills. The only thing is that the problem is that the younger brother became too rich, too powerful, and so disrespected the elder brother. The elder brother is angry today, so that's why we have this conflict in Manipur. The Naga nationalism and the Manipuri nationalism can be explained in this way, from cultural point of view and political point of view also. All right, so Manipur is not only a piece of land or a hill and the valley, but it is also a bridge between the eastern and the western cultural civilization. Here everybody comes. It is a boiling pot. It is constantly churning unique identity by day. We can relate to anybody. So there is to know that in the whole population called Vedic, one part of that population, if you look at their spiritual life, born in the valley of Manipur, but their spiritual life is in rest India. Navadip in Bengal, and in UP, because their ashes, after cremation will be taken there. They're born in the soil of the valley, but their spiritual life is out there in India. And there is another section of people among the Meitei who are born and brought up. Their spiritual life ends in that Southeast Asian cultural civilization. They don't go up to India. So this is something that you have to understand. That is why I do this as a bridge between the Eastern and Western cultural civilization. It is through this bridge that Buddhism walked, not through of course, much of that went through the sea route also, but archaeological evidence are there that Buddhists also walked through this land some thousand years ago. We have found relics, Buddhism relics in Nepal. Okay, now this is one part. So I'm very clear on this. These three new look into Manipur, the cultural aspect, the ecological aspect, and the third thing is I think these two are the main thing. And so the fourth thing is that third thing is that Manipur is a center, not a periphery to anybody, any political power, because it has had international relationship, and the international relationship was marked with war and peace. To have peace, the princess used to be married to other kingdoms. So we had princess married to Burmese king, we had princess married to Nepal king, we had princess married to the Tripuri king, we had princess married to the Asomia king. We also had princess married to the okay, fine. Let me limit it. Money princess. So you have all these literatures now. So therefore, this is our foreign relations development. War and peacetime. Peacetime with women exchange, wartime fighting, and deciding who wins. And so therefore, this is another way of new law of looking at multiple situation because so much of the conflict is around boundary and trade. Now, how does Manipur or people of Manipur, or in particular Meitei, who soldiers the history of Manipur today? Because Nagas have left it behind. Cookies have left it behind. So today, Manipur is on the shoulder. We're carrying the burden of Manipur actually. Because it is the Meitei who authored it. The state was Meitei are architect of that state as a plural state, as a multi-religious, multi-ethnic, united state. Okay, if you trace the number of kings from 33 AD, today some of the Kuki intellectuals say that sometime in 14 or 1300, there was a king, his name is Kuki like, so he must be Kuki king at that point of time, you know. Likewise, Naga can also play. There are so many names, you know, until until you come to the line of king, until you come to 17th century, 18th century, then suddenly the name change, you know. Then you have this Hinduized names, you know, Hinduized Raja and all of that thing. Happen. Anything beyond that? All right, fine. Okay, time is short. So now this is a beautiful step which has been designed to destroy. This is the second part of my thesis. Designed to destroy because this step, all of a sudden, it was an infant democracy inaugurated in 1948. A year after this infant was murdered by a simple takeover. And this independent democratic republic country who were in infancy was murdered by the President of India simply taking it over and converting into grounding that to their independent state, democratic state, grounding that as a province under a district. This is the pain of Manipuri or Manipuri. This has the Manipuri nationality, and that is what has generated, motivated the armed sovereignty movement in Manipur from 1960s. This is the second part of evolution, but I'm not going to do that. But then, okay, now this step from 1949 takeover has suddenly become overnight. Can you imagine overnight a boundary of another country? This is the pain we feel on the Manipuri national good. You were an independent country yesterday. Today you are a boundary. You have no right. You have actually, your political right is gone. Your sovereignty is gone. Your identity is gone. You have become a boundary. So Manipur, Nagaland for that matter, Fizo sadly was alone, but they didn't listen. You are a boundary to a new nation which has only 200 years of history, remember. This nation called India, that is called Bharat today, over a period of last 10 years, increasingly being called Bharat, has only 200 years of history. If colonization had not taken place, do you think this nation would have taken this step? No, I don't think. This nation would have taken some different form if it were colonization would have happened. Okay, so 200 years of history and then this nation has come up. So therefore, if you compare this nation with Manipur nation, then Manipur nation is thousands years old, which has progressed itself, evolved itself into a democracy, is quite much more powerful, unshakable, unbreakable, which is just 200 years old. So this you have to understand. This is a new look towards the situation. And this also should apply to the Naga situation. So destruction of Manipur, which is at the final stage today, as you see, where all kinds of sins are happening, is what is happening. What Home Minister said on 17th September last year is one of the success story of his 100 days of MDA3. He came up with this very happily announced that we have a roadmap for money. In that roadmap, what was the first milestone? The first milestone was 31,000 crores sanctioned for fencing the boundary. This was the investment. So now you understand this is a conclusive war, not between Meiteis and Kukis. Please forget this binary. Please forget this ethnicization of the problem in Manipur. But this was a conclusive war against that kingdom to finally kill it, bury it below the barbed wire fence. This is a political narrative of what is happening. Please try to understand that. So therefore, whatever happened has been inhuman, atrocious, obnoxious. There is no other word can condemn that. But this is what has happened when we accept our reality. So the question is, how do we wake up, rise up again? Now, rising up again is based on two. I found two very powerful things. One is, like in Mahabharata, Bhishma advises Arjuna when the war was beginning. Look, if you want to win over your enemies, adversaries, use his weapon, not yours. So I'm applying this here. How can we use the Constitution of India, which promises justice, equality, liberty, and fraternity as the four pillars of democracy? Can we use that as a weapon against India? Second, can we also use the fundamental duties of citizens of India as a weapon against the adversary, so that not only we improve, we become a better human being, better democrats, we also have our adversaries who really become a democrat. It's mutually beneficial weapon than using arms, guns, violence. India is as ignorant as us. So therefore, we use violence as the only language of saying no to one another. Just to summarize what has happened over the last 70 years of violence, we did not have a language to communicate. So therefore, we use violence to communicate with one another, especially rejecting mutually harming one another. Now we are educated. We are educated population today. Educated population should stay in the situation. Use the language that human beings speak, and that is law. This is a tool that our water and should develop in speech. We have to replace with dialogue. If we know how to dialogue, we can win the world, not only India. We haven't learned the language of dialogue. Dialogue is the tool, and the method is action research. My dear MSW students, particularly those who have chosen peace and conflict immersion, choose action research in final analysis. It is actually this action which helps experience and apply the theory called peace begins with you. If you want to experience this, if you want to grow as a peace agent, as a prince of peace, then apply action methodology. In whatever you do, whatever I am presenting today is out of that continuous action research that is going in my mind. Every day I go to bed, my action research, and the day-long activities I do a lot of reflection. This reflection generates new ideas when I rise up, when I open my eyes in the next morning, and then I jot it down in my diary, and I apply that new ideas the next day again. So action research is going 24 hours in my life. And this is helping me a lot. And I'm very confident that we shall be able to establish peace in Manipur. And to do this, we have to understand how the system works. And it is with this in my speech. Again, this is my action research. I thought if you change the education, we can have peace. Because this education, until NEP 2020 came, was was problem makers, then problem solvers in India. So any activity has made a huge shift, paradigm shift, because it has incorporated value like empathy. And empathy is a value that state does not. And now, this new generation will be taught under NEP 2020 will have empathy enough in their behavior, in their thought, in their feeling. And when this generation gets into politics, you will have a sensitive government running the state. All right. So there are a lot of critical criticisms about this in 2020, but let us also get the good side of it. Opportunities that we give to make this policy policy. This is some policy research that some of you can take up with some final students. Now, so let us try to understand how peace can be established. So I have claimed in my action research of doing peace education so that peace is established in the society. Then reflection gave me this new idea, new theory. This new theory tells me that unless you change the politics, you cannot change the economy because for education requires huge money, right? This money comes out of economy. If your economy is poor, you can't have good education, can you? Simple logic. So intervention and education will not work unless you prepare the students to get into politics. And that politics is called peace politics. Peace politics will make peace economy will support peace education, and then you'll have a triangular system to establish sustainable peace that we have been seeking in our heart for generations together. And I welcome to that on this roadmap. All of you, thank you everybody for listening. Okay. All right. So I would like to take this opportunity. You see, some of these ideas that I'm thinking, I found already written in this book. This book is called Greater India Movement to Make All of India Peaceful. Rosemary. The Naga problem will also be solved, don't worry. All right, here is the book. This is the latest book, and this book is developed with a lot of spiritual, like meditations and all kind of things, research by a Swami called Swami Sachidananda, based in Kerala. He is born in a Christian family, became an atheist, and he made an accident, air crash. He was a sport leader, and then he went back to God again. And then there he began. So Greater India movement actually is a movement left behind by Gandhi 3 days before he was assassinated, and this is called Second Freedom of India. Second Freedom of India is freedom of moral freedom, economic freedom, and social freedom. And this book, in a small nutshell, puts all the ideas together. And this is a hope for India. And I'd like to present this to the founder, director, principal, Father C.P. Anto. If possible, I want to give you more copies, enough for all the peace and conflict students to read it in the sideline of existing. Maybe they can read in the final year. I would like to present it to you. And when I return from Kerala this time, I'll give you more copies so you can keep it in the library so that you have access. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We are running out of time, so I would like to request our distinguished speakers to make it organized. We'll have a round of Q&A, but I inform that we will not be able to take lots of questions. At the most, we are taking 3 questions. 1 question from online participants, 2 questions from the audience. So If there are anyone with pressing questions, I open the Q&A sessions. Anyone from the audience? Okay. I will come back to you. First, this is questions to Professor Rosemary Common, our online participants. So, this we have one question. One is, I would like to know how Professor Rosemary react to the debate on women's rights in Inaugural, which appears to be exclusive rather than inclusive, especially regarding tribal women not being allocated any seat in the Imam Media, one of the famous women's markets in the heart of Hong. So let me just repeat. I would like to know how Professor Rosemary react to the debate on women's rights in Manipur, which appears to be exclusive rather than inclusive, especially regarding tribal women not being allocated any seat in their Imam Media. Or if there is any other questions from the participants, we will take it together. If not, then we will take the question. Okay. Uh, the question is, I would like to know how Professor Rosemary reacts to the debate on women's rights, especially in the context of Manipur, which appears to be exclusive rather than inclusive, especially with regard to tribal women not being allocated any seat in the Imam KTL market. And Imam KTL market is one of the famous women's market in the heart of Imphal.
Yeah, I hope the person who's asking the question is listening. Yeah? Okay. Is it from a gentleman or a lady? Can I know? Gentleman. Why is he interested? I think it's more interesting if it is a lady who's asking. You see, I love the Kuma market. That is a market which is occupied by mainly women, selling all kinds of things, and it has been an ancestral centerpiece, I think, of Islam Valley for economic activity of women. We are still yet to see whether tribal women, I think you will know better, but we are still yet to see whether tribal women can be a part of this market. I have not really seen, but definitely we'll be looking at inclusiveness. Why not? Why not open up spaces? But I know in Imphal, I think it was last year or the year before, they've actually opened a market which is exclusively for Naga women entrepreneurs who come to sell their flowers and vegetables and everything as far as now into Imphal. You know, so times are changing. I still believe the adage that times will change. Times are changing. Mindset of women also will change. But this kind of inclusion to be a part of that market should come from the women themselves. Policymakers can, at some point or the other, and we still yet to see such places in the traditional monarchy. But if you go to you will see a big center for the Ima market, it's again known as the women's market or the mother's market, where again all the women get there. At least the government of Manipur, before this practice happened, has actually been having a lot of development as far as women and European business is concerned. But I think Dr. Devendra is the right person because I don't think Manipur, he may have
Thank you. See, um, anything in the value of very people cannot, if you allow them to develop, self-develop, proper education, they cannot be very exclusive. They can only be inclusive, accommodating, because there is a nature of learning. What is very upper? It is a lower level where all the resources from the given surrounding flowing and they become one mass over the day. They want to body. And that is a nature of the learning. So sometimes you have to understand how the nature and the characteristics to find a individual solution to the problem. But what is wrong? I tell you, enough market to money market, enough market is a exact name. Enough market is not as a market. Today remains excluded. Say why? Because as I said, the democracy was murdered in infancy. So there is no dialogue happening. On top of that, what kind of politics is happening today in India? Alright, politics on temples, politics on religious identity, politics on conversion, all of this, right? What is this political system that we are talking about in Indian system today? Is this one Indian democracy is something about that? This system is called multi-party electoral system, in which you keep on dividing the voting population within a constitution and get a minority to win. Okay, let's just do a little bit of assessment of the statistics of the last so many elections. Clearly, there have been 80 government at the center as well as the state, which have secured anything more than 50% of the population. It is over 33, 34, 40, now it is very important because of this Ram, Sita, whatever, right? Religious group, right? Now, for religious group, we can only become the devotees. You can only do, you don't need education. For the current politics that is deciding our life today, but this you have to know, we will get into this politics. That's why, unless you get into politics, you're not going to have a future that you want. Okay, so don't talk about women participation only in this process, be stable, but talk about getting into politics. 50% of the population is women. Why can't they do why can't they win election of election? Why can't they fill in the assembly with 50% representation in the assembly? Then the change will happen. Because these decisions are meant to change the society. Everything, the economy, all that. So therefore, unfortunately, I believe except the fact that very painful is exclusive, communal, alright, and then another thing that you should know that although we have to understand the market from several perspectives, one is sociological perspective, second is psychological perspective, and third is the commercial perspective. The commercial perspective is now thinking over unfortunately, which is inhuman. Inhuman. So this is something that we will have. Yes, I agree with this exclusion, and this is not really for long, and people have to decide this. However, educated, however, people in Manipur will get awakened soon with talking about sector.
Yeah, I think I'd like to comment on the fact that why the systems of women join the businesses and join and generate businesses. It's because as part of government, just last year we have conducted the municipal elections after more than 20 years of struggle by number of women. And now we have more than 100 women councillors sitting all over. There's a particular town in Sydney which actually have all the councillors who are women who came into reserve seats and who also won in the open seats against the men. But finally, the time is right. It's good for us to be gender sensitized, to think about the future, and also analyze what is the way forward. What is peace? Unless we have peace, we cannot go with that. We cannot go with justice. We have to have peace to find peace for development and also to think the peace that we know.
Thank you so much. If there are no pressing questions, we're going to end our session. And before that, I would like to just summarize the brief points of our speakers in line with Development Goal 5, that is gender equality, and Sustainable Development Goal 16, that is promoting peace and inclusive society. Professor Rosemary highlighted the importance of and the need to recognize the experience and contributions of women toward peace process. War and conflict is highly gendered, and women and men experience differently. And within the binaries of victim and as an agent of peace, the experience or the narrative documents are tends to remain oblivion even in our history and in our day-to-day discourse. For that, women are also and need to be part of peace process, especially at negotiation table. And also we have our speaker, Dr. Vivens, speaking about the importance of spirituality and also bringing a new perspective in terms of cultural context and Manipur being a multi-ethnic state, and that we need to understand Gandhi and we need to let Gandhi go along with dialogue and we need to involve in our actions research. So we will end our discussions with one question. Can reconciliation in its truest sense happen without justice being served? Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. In order to conclude this plenary session formally, I would like to share some words of gratitude and the presence of our respected members, Professor Rosemary and Dr. Tiffany. I would not like much time. I think running late now by around 50 minutes. So we are starting another sessions. It's a session at 1:30. Online session will start at sharp 1:30, and this one offline sessions will start by 2:20. 2 o'clock. Yeah, 2 o'clock. So we'll have about 30 minutes for lunch. So before we wind up for lunch, I'd like to appreciate our plenary session speakers, uh, Professor Rosemary. Professor Rosemary is not new to this institute, and for many of us, especially who are working with peace and conflict, thank you so much. And I would like to appeal, I will not review anything, but I would like to appeal all the participants, online, offline, just take it what she has spoken. She set the trend, a way for the solutions of political crisis in Ireland. Not only in Ireland, even in the Northeast region. She has said lots of points like power sharing maybe very predicted that some uncertainties may come, and many things have shared. I will conclude here by saying this quote, and I would like to thank Dr. David for your sharing, and you have already said many components how to come together with broken communities and broken geographically and ethnic lines. And you have said many components. Thank you so much. And you have already explained very clearly with humility and accepted the this is the this conflict is not for any bad things. This is for the good things, and by answering the questions that
of course, we need to have that inclusiveness. Because of that exclusiveness, we have lots of divisions in the wider divisions in ethnic lines and geographically. So thank you so much for the speakers, and thank you. Last but not the least, thank you mm, all the this one delegates who came and participated actively and for your patient listening. And see you at 2 p.m. for the offline session. Thank you so much. Have a good night.